There are signals all around us. Most of them go unnoticed. Some are born able to sense them, born with the veil still present, a mark set to thin the boundary between worlds. For a white witch, the boundary never fully closes. It becomes something you can see through, something you can feel. Respond not to fear the unknown, but to understand it, to listen when it reaches back beyond the veil with Tracy Jones.
Good evening. I'm getting much better at these buttons. Welcome to Beyond the Veil with the Paranormal White Witch. That would be me, Tracy Jones. I'm going to have tonight's opening a little bit different. I want to thank the people who have been my support system throughout all of this and let you guys know about them because they're the most amazing people I've ever come across. No, I don't get paid to say that. For instance, you can, before I get to the people, all right, so check this out. That's my book, Witchcraft by Blood and Tradition, a beginner's guide. It's not the same cover that you're going to get. I was playing with ChatGPT. But if you live in the Maryland area, you can go buy Crafty Witch Soiree at the Dundalk Flea Market every Saturday and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. And you can see Sherry and Karen there. They're amazing people. And then I have my friends Michael and Trisha, father and daughter. These two are amazing people. And I saw that they were having something coming up in October. So I thought, I'd give them a little boost. You got to check out their podcast. They always have the really neatest guests on and good conversation. And he's also an author. So you can get your little ones something and you can get the big people something. All on Amazon, just like mine. While you're on Amazon, check out George Lunsford's books. We're all available through Kindle, paperback, and hardback. And then comes my sisters, The Coven of Curiosity with Cindy and Donna, and I'm just getting to know Amanda and Rick, but I'm sure they're absolutely amazing. These guys, the show is phenomenal. And we have North Carolina Investigates. These guys are like my brothers now. So it's nice to have a big family. And then one of the guys from NCI, his name is Brian Sawyer. He's going to start with this Bigfoot TV, all things paranormal. So it's a couple of different things coming up. But tonight's guest is going to be that chap there with the silver hair. So let me bring him out. Get rid of this. Poof. Move. Okay. And Mr. Greg. Oh, I'm scaring myself. I'm hitting all the buttons. Yeah.
There you go.
How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good. Can you introduce yourself, please, and tell everybody how wonderful you are?
My name is Greg Ogles, and I've got this little film company called Relic Films. And we make documentaries about things that go bump in the night and that howl out in the woods and all the other little unknown sounds that you might hear just anywhere. But we've got 3 films out that's published already, and I'm working on 2 more. The first one's called The Legend of the Downy Booger. It's a Bigfoot film. What that film chronicles our team's journey into investigating the legend of the Downy Booger, which was a legend from the 1800s.
Okay.
My second film is The Land Between the Lakes, where it explores some of the more weird things that you start to see when you go out bigfooting. And the third film is called The Banished, and it explores the missing people that's in the national forest,
Okay.
particularly the Great Smoky Mountains National Forest.
Okay. And where can we purchase these magnificent films?
Well, you can see these on Tubi and all the other, and Amazon and all the other streaming platforms.
Okay.
If you want a physical copy, you can go to Walmart.com and get The Legend of the Downy Booger. They sell them there.
Okay.
And the other two are soon to be streaming very, very soon, within the next few weeks, on all Amazon and Tubi and all the other platforms.
Cool. Awesome. I have a lady that presented herself right before I got on the show tonight, and I'm a little confused. Sometimes when spirit comes through, it makes perfect sense. Sometimes it doesn't. Most of the time, to me, it doesn't. But the people know. So you're going to have to tell me if any of this
Mhm.
is relevant at all. The lady, I kept getting two names. I got Mary and I got Maureen, and I'm not sure which one. I was leaning towards Mary, but I'm not sure. She said she passed in 85 in a hospital in May of 22. All the nurses would come in because her skin was so beautiful and she hardly had any wrinkles on, and they would admire that. She's showing herself with salt and pepper hair, like your typical late 60s or 70s, had that little poofy business, and she's got rocking that blue eyeshadow. And she's wearing one of her favorite gifts, a white sweatshirt with Mickey Mouse on it. I take it. Does it make sense?
Well, the date sounds like my grandmother.
Okay.
You gave two names, Mary and Maureen. Mary
Yeah.
was my mom, who passed away last year.
Okay.
Maureen is my aunt, who passed away a few years ago, who
Oh,
was the daughter of my grandmother that you just described. Her name was Raider.
okay. Okay. Well, what I got was keep doing what you're doing. Very proud of you. So
well,
there you go.
so I said, thank you.
I got to work.
Love and miss them all.
Yeah, they know. They talk to you. You've probably picked up on them and in your home before, like a strange noise or a sudden aroma that you smell. That'll be them. That's how they communicate. So, can I ask you, what got you into wanting to do films?
Oh goodness, I needed a distraction at the time. Um, I'm an engineer, and I'm a traffic engineer, and my job's actually rather stressful. So I was just frankly tired of hunting and fishing. I
Okay.
mean, I was just tired of it, and I wanted something else to do. And I've always been interested in the paranormal, and I say paranormal to include cryptids, right, and UFOs. I had a UFO encounter when I was a kid.
Mm.
So I think that kept my interest, that encounter. And one of the things I did when I was when in my job, when I go out and investigate very complex crashes, is I go out and gather information, try to put it together, like putting pieces of a puzzle together to find out the real cause of a real complex crash, right? A lot of times they're not as evident as you might think.
Okay.
And I was very used to documenting everything on film, so I can go back and review it later, right?
Right.
So I was like, man, I'm already used to solving mysteries. I'll while I'm out tromping around in the woods, I'll just make a documentary.
Why
Right?
not?
Yeah. Right. How hard can it be?
Yeah, I thought about that when I wrote my book. I was, oh God.
Yeah. Hey, let me tell you something.
Yeah.
It's pretty hard.
Oh yeah.
I was smart enough to surround myself with a couple of people that knew a lot more than I did. And we always had fussing fits at each other when my camera guy would take a lot of time, setting up the shots and all this other stuff. And I'm like, let's go, 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 go. And no, you can't do that.
Yeah,
You have
it's
to set up the
just,
shot.
mm-hmm.
You got to set up all of that to make it look good. So, over the years, I have learned a ton about filmmaking and
Okay.
still learning. I'm still no expert by any means, but I do make pretty good films.
Well,
Yeah.
I can tell everybody out there that he's a wonderful director because I had never done or participated in a documentary before. I've been on like a
Mhm.
podcast live. It
Mhm.
was Jake the Ghost Hunter at Laurel's House of Horrors. It's in my stream. If you want to
Mhm.
look at it, you can look at it. I find a ghost and a couple of other icky things. But I had never done anything like this, so I didn't know
Mhm.
what to expect. He was so kind and patient. I want to tell you, this man has a patience. I want to call him. What is your nickname, Mr. Moist? Saint Mr. Moist.
Mr. Moist. Yeah.
My husband's over there bowing at you. Yes, I'm not worthy. So that
Yeah. Well, I started out doing this as a hobby, and it was a release for me. And if you're not having fun, you're doing it wrong.
right.
So, I've got to have fun. If I'm having fun, I want everybody else to have fun.
I hear you.
So I don't see a need in being like all the Hollywood directors and all of that, where they're, very anal about everything, and they can be quite characters.
Oh,
So
I'm
uh,
sure. I'm
I
sure.
try I try not to do that, and I try to do everything in very few takes,
Okay.
very few. I've talked with others who's been on some of these national TV shows, and they're doing some of the same takes 50 and 60 times.
Oh wow.
So, yeah, and I was like, man, I don't have
You
the
mean wait a minute? You mean
footage
it
for
really
that.
wasn't just at that moment, dude? It was a 50th take of take the damn shot, dude.
Yeah, yeah, really, really. They,
Mm,
they say that happens like 50 takes on some shots.
wow.
So I'm like, oh my god, that's just too much, too
Yeah.
much, too
No,
much.
you were very easy to work with. You got kept everybody in line when they started getting a little rowdy. You're like, "I'm filming.
Mhm.
I'm filming." It was
Now,
funny.
when I'm filming, but you have to be like that though,
Yeah.
because when you're trying to do one takes, and you're doing it
Yeah.
outside, and
Yeah.
if the sun's out or anything out like that, you have to start thinking of continuity, right?
Right.
And if you do something like 50 times, that sun's going to go across the sky, and it's going to cause
Yeah.
different shadows and all this other stuff, and it's not going to look the same if you
Yeah.
take a piece
Yeah.
here
I
and a
get
piece
that.
there.
I get
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Um,
So you just have to say, "Hey, shut up, be quiet."
they were pretty good down there. I want to back up a minute. You said you had a ET
I
encounter when
did.
you were little. Can you tell
Very,
us about
very
that?
little. Yeah, I was maybe 4, 3, 4, 5, somewhere in that range. I still don't remember my age. But I was very, very little.
Mhm.
And we were actually on the road that I live now, but I didn't live here then. We was going on a road to my grandmother's house. And it was me, my 2 older brothers, and 2 older cousins. And this giant light, real bright light, just beamed down on us. And it was just perfectly circular.
Mhm.
And it didn't diffuse out like a normal light would. You shine a flashlight on the ground, it kind of diffuses out. I didn't do that. It was just boom, and then just right on us. And I
Mm.
remember sitting there thinking, like I could feel the light.
Okay.
Um, I would liken it now to static electricity, but it's
Gotcha.
almost like you could scoop up static electricity and you could hold it in your hand. It was
Mhm.
almost like that. And
Yeah.
I was like, wow. And, I was just so amazed. And then my next memory is being on my grandmother's covered porch and thinking, like, how's the light coming through the porch? And,
Right.
I remember being terrified because I didn't want to get off the porch and look up or anything. But I remember the light lifting up. It didn't turn off. It went,
Okay.
lifted up.
Okay.
Um, Now, I didn't see the craft. My oldest brother did, and he said it was just a gigantic triangle, just enormous, almost took up the whole sky. And it was when it. He said it just kind of moved just a little bit and it was gone. Right.
Jeez.
So now when we were on my grandmother's porch, it was completely black outside. It was real dark, right? But when we were on the road, I remember it only being dusky dark.
Okay.
So there,
Okay.
the sky was still a little bit light. So there was some time passed between being on the road and on my grandma's porch. And I
Hmm.
don't as a matter of fact, none of us remember how we got from the road to the porch.
You could have been abducted.
Well, I'm starting to think that's
I mean, I'm not trying to get all
likely.
creepy and, tinfoil hatty or anything, but I hear that from so many people who have those kind of experiences and, if the missing time and all that.
Mhm. Well, the one thing that really gave this missing time away was the time of day. I do remember, like I say, I do remember it being dusky dark, and then all of a sudden it's completely black.
Okay.
So I don't know how much time had passed, but a good bit of time had passed.
Wow. Um, I don't know if you know the lady who I have on the screen right now, Donna. She is awesome and has some of the best stories. She's on Covenant Curiosities now. She her you two have to hook up because her stories and your stories would be
Mhm.
absolutely fantastic.
I would love to. Yeah,
Yeah.
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 I'm always looking for people to express their stories
Hmm.
because not everybody has an avenue or an outlet and knows
Yeah.
how to do it to reach a
Yeah.
lot of people. Because it's important for other people to hear those stories too, because
Yeah.
that there's so many people out there that has an encounter, and they're like, I don't know if I should tell anybody about that or not, right?
Right. Right.
Because they get ridiculed, or at
Mhm.
least in the past they had been ridiculed.
Sure.
So I'm always looking uh, to be able to help other people to express their stories.
Okay. I had one story, and I don't even. It could have been something in the military. I don't know, but I used to live in Colorado, and before I got married to my son's father, I was out jogging at night because up in the mountains it's quiet and you were safe back then. And I looked up and I saw a perfect triangle of stars, and I thought that's odd. I mean, it's not. I know the Big Dipper and the Little Dipper. I know some of the other ones. And then as I'm looking at it, each one goes off in a different direction.
Oh,
I booked my little butt back in that house so I was like, I don't know what it is. It could be absolutely nothing, but I ain't going to find out.
mhm.
So,
Yeah. Not long after that, I had another UFO experience with my next door neighbor.
mhm.
She and I were, again, we were probably a little bit older than, we're probably about six,
Okay.
roughly. And we were both out in the field behind where I lived, or where we lived. And we saw this UFO just kind of like spiraling down toward us, right? It was kind of coming right at us. And I got a good look at that craft.
Okay.
It had like a top on it and a bottom. It kind of looked like Saturn, sort of, but it had this little spire up on top of it.
Okay.
So, but I remember getting a really good look at that one, and we both got scared and ran into our respective houses.
Yeah.
So,
Uh, I get where you're coming from wanting to share the stories. That's why I started this whole podcast business
hmm
because people see things and they're told you're crazy. It's
hmm
not there. You have feelings and something comes true. It's all in your imagination. Well, sometimes it is and sometimes it isn't. But you have to have an outlet somewhere.
hmm
Somebody, not that I'm the end all be all, and not that you're the end all be all, but we're two
right,
people
yeah.
who can handle what others would consider the absurd and say, look,
Oh,
I
absolutely.
think it's really this. It's not really that. It's like
hmm
I get so many people say, I have a demon in my house. First thing I do is check to see, are they a hot mess, like hoarder situation? If that's it, then yeah, that's where your scratching's coming from. You can
Mhm.
clean this up. Not everything is a demon. Oh my lord.
Right.
You know, I love the podcast that I put on at night and I listen to fall asleep. It was the worst night of my life. Oh my God, we almost died. This demon was the demon from
You almost died. Yeah.
every single video they put out. There's always a fake scratch or, some such thing. So,
Ah, incredible. And absolutely incredible. Yeah. Now, when I first started doing this, of course, I was doing Bigfoot, right?
mhm,
I didn't think there was anything. Well, first, I didn't, I was somewhat of a believer, but I was still kind of skeptical. I didn't have anything to say to prove that, that it was real, at least to me.
right.
And, when I went out, I mean, our first outing, we started having experiences. I mean, that's beginner's luck, but, also it's because I had a good mentor that put me in a good spot and, uh, kind of showed me how to find other good spots. And he
Yeah.
was a good mentor. His name's Paul Holsey, and he's passed away now. May rest in peace. But Paul was a good guy. But when we started doing these night hunts, I started seeing other things that wasn't Bigfoot, right?
Right. Right.
One of the first things I started to see was orbs. These little
Oh,
balls of light coming
yeah.
through the woods. Now they wasn't like little. Sometimes it's like this, where it's almost like a quick wisp of it. They
Hmm.
go on and off, kind of quick. You would think, oh, is that a lightning bug? But they're much, much brighter than a lightning bug, and
Hmm.
a lot larger than a lightning bug. Anyway, but there's other times where these things come out and they hang out with us. They
Hmm.
they would hang out with us, hung out with us for hours,
Oh,
hours,
cool.
hours. And if you want to see an instance like that, my latest film, The Vanished, I
Okay.
put a segment in there on an investigation, and we filmed these orbs,
Okay.
and you can see the color of them. These particular ones were green,
Okay.
and they would come up to us and just kind of walk, move around. They was kind of doing their own thing, But
That's so cool.
yeah, for those who've never seen an orb, you'll get a good look at what real orbs are, and I'm not talking dust.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that people show me a picture and you can tell it's dust.
Yeah, yeah.
Then, my sarcastic side wants to take over every single time, but I don't let it. Then you got to explain a little bit, without sounding
Mhm.
condescending. Trisha wants to know, what about the pale crawlers? Have you had experiences with them? And what is a pale crawler?
Yes, yes, yes. Okay, back in November, as you know, we were working on this next one of the upcoming films of mine called "The Land Between the Lake," or "Return to the Land Between the Lakes: Making Contact." And you participated in that film, and it was one of the most beautiful sessions I've ever seen, heart wrenching and everything else. Um, but later on that week, after you had left,
Hmm.
I had took a group of ladies out to a particular place where I had a Bigfoot encounter,
Okay.
and I told the ladies this particular instance to go in and challenge whatever's there, right? Try to establish dominance. Don't go in passive and peaceful and all that, because they did that before and it didn't work. Nothing happened.
Right.
So with this time, they went in like just challenging whatever's there, and it works.
Okay.
Oh, it works, absolutely works. So I'm sitting there filming the ladies, right? And I'm looking into a display screen, so my natural night vision is shot. I don't have much at all, right?
Hmm.
So Natalie, who's in our group, she sees this oval of light appear, right? And it was kind of bordered by, sparklies or something. I didn't see it, and that's just her description of it.
Mhm.
Um, and then she sees these things crawl out of this portal, right? So, and again, I don't see any of that, but after I had like done like as like, hey ladies, I'm going to do a growl myself, and I did a roar, just just real massive growls, and oh god, it stirred crap up, I'm
But
serious.
that's what you wanted, right? You wanted to
Well, that's
stir.
what we wanted, right? Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that's what we wanted. Yeah, that's what it was
Okay.
there for. Um, to make some contact. I don't know what we did, but anyway, so I'm sitting there, and I'm right-handed, so I got the camera in my right hand, and I look over my right shoulder up where she had seen these crawlers, right?
Mhm.
And I see this thing charging at me, and it's on all fours, right? And it's doing this gallopy thing, and its head is at a really weird position, just looking at me. And I'm like, oh crap, there it is. And I take the camera. Now I do carry me a emotional support pew pew. So I carry that with me, right?
See what
So
you did there.
I pull out my pew pew, and I'm like, going to grace this thing with 17 10 millimeter size holes. But before I could do that, Natalie hits it with bear spray.
Mhm.
And it does, it repels this thing. Now, I don't know what happened to it after that, because I was trying to move back because it was getting pretty close.
Okay.
I was trying to get back and also steady myself, so I wouldn't take wild shots. That's very dangerous.
Right.
But she hit it with that bear spray, and I don't know what happened to it after that. It moved away or moved off or whatever, and didn't charge again. But that bear spray, it lingered, and oh god, we couldn't
Whoa.
breathe, whatever. So we had to retreat ourselves.
Right.
We retreated back down to our vehicles, and but even though nothing else charged at us, there were still orbs around, and
Hmm.
usually orbs mean some sort of cryptid activity that
Okay.
I've kind of learned. And there was one like on the road in front of us, one on the road in back of us, and there was a few orbs like in the off in the woods, right?
Right.
So they never really went away.
Okay.
And there was all kinds of other sounds and stuff too that was just really weird, like this weird uh, uh, thunderous boom, boom, boom sound.
Okay.
And it would happen after every time we did a howl or something like that. So, and I had something like that to happen the year prior, when I had did a growl, and and I know for a fact it was a Bigfoot that did it, because I had seen that Bigfoot. And so when I growled, then it stomped, boom, boom, boom. So, but these seemed much louder. You could feel the percussion in you.
Wow.
But yeah, now was it pale? It was dark, and I didn't have great night vision, and it was actually in a shadow of the moon. So I don't know that it was pale. Maybe a dark gray, maybe.
Now,
But
what's the difference between a wraith and a pale walker?
a
Pale.
ray.
Is there a difference, or is it like
Well,
Bigfoot and
I think they're the same.
Okay.
I think they're the same. I've only encountered that one rake,
That was
and I
enough,
don't
right?
call it a rake because I don't know what what it was.
Right.
I don't know. It was just so freaky, and it was charging at me. I'm like, "Hey, buddy, you're still too close." But I've never seen one before, and I
Okay.
haven't seen one since then.
And you're probably
So
good for the rest of your life never seeing them again.
I hope, because that was freaky. That
Yeah.
was freaky. Now I've seen Bigfoots, right?
Hmm.
Um, I'm kind of numb to Bigfoots right now. I could see one. Oh, hey, there's a Bigfoot. You
Okay.
know, um, and orbs is, oh, I'll run toward an orb, right? Like, yeah, there's an orb. I love watching those guys. They're fun.
Mm.
But Now I've seen a portal too. I have seen one myself. I saw one the year before return to the LBL.
Okay.
Um, I saw a portal there, and that changed my paradigm a lot as well. Um,
What
because
did it look like? What was going on?
yeah, it was well. We were out orb watching, right? And I saw a color of light that I hadn't seen before.
Hmm.
It was like a yellowish looking light,
Okay.
almost like daylight, right?
Right. Right.
Okay, and I was like, but I couldn't see the source of it, so I started moving around to where I could see the source,
Hmm.
and I finally did see the source, and it was a rectangular um, portal, and it was kind of bounded. It had this. It was bounded by light, right? Kind of this yellow-looking light, um, and I remember thinking, I can see. I'm looking into this thing. It's like a window. It's like you go out into the woods and you hung up a window,
Okay.
and there's somewhere else that you're looking into, right? Because
Right.
where we was it was like in the 20s, maybe high 20s, low 30s. So and it was everything, all the vegetation's dead, and it's the
Right.
middle of the night. So where I'm looking, it's like lush vegetation. If I had to describe anything, it's like a lot of kudzu and vines and trees and stuff.
Wow.
Um, but it was daylight where it was, and I was seeing into it, and I was amazed. I mean, I was like, wow, that's just something I had never ever ever seen before. And again, I didn't believe in it until I
Hmm.
actually saw it really. And it was two-dimensional, right? If you looked at it from the side, you wouldn't see anything. You could just see the glow from
Right.
coming out of it. But as you got more toward being looking at it 90 degrees, you could see into it.
Okay.
So it was just very weird. And then there was a lot of people that was there, and somebody shined the light toward it, and it poof, it vaporized, it was
Wow.
gone. And
That's
but
cool.
yeah, but a few minutes later, I say a few minutes, it probably wasn't a minute later, an orb came up right from where that portal was.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was interesting when you said, you didn't believe in it, didn't really know about it.
Mm-hmm.
When I was first asked by my good friend Dave Bruce to be a guest on his show, and he deals with a lot of Bigfoot stuff, I thought, oh my God, I'm going to be on with the geeks, and they're crazy people.
Mm-hmm.
But the longer I'm doing this stuff, the more I'm like, I can't explain that picture. I can't explain that video. And I can tell you when I was down doing the documentary with you, and I was sitting, I think it was either right before the Estes method, or I don't think it was, no, it was during the God helmet. I
Mm-hmm.
remember doing this.
Mm-hmm.
My husband's like, you were down there doing your Stevie Nicks thing. And I said, no. What I saw from the other end of the field was this big black mass. And I thought, my background, shadow person. And it went here, and then it was here within a
Oh wow.
millisecond. And I've told that story to the guys from NCI, and they seem to think it was and I'm batting at it like, get the hell away from me. If I knew it was a Bigfoot, I probably wouldn't have done that because I don't know how to act around those things. But I've since been told by like Brian Sawyer and Jerry Millwood that it was probably an alpha, and since I'm so open, and that ding dang God helmet of yours opened me up even more. It
Mm-hmm.
just wanted to see if I was a threat or not, and I'm just get away from me. Get away from me. And then I
Mm-hmm.
remember distinctly sitting there. You remember I was blindfolded in the ears, and you
Mm-hmm.
wanted everybody to be quiet, and I keep stomping around the cameras and the lights like 3 times, full circles. I'm like, I don't know nothing about filming, know nothing, but that's gonna show up. And when you were like way over there.
Oh yeah, we were way away
Yeah.
from it.
And I
We
was like,
didn't want
why
anybody to
is, why
know.
does he want everybody quiet? Now he's stomping around like. No, it's very, so I don't say weirdos or, weird
It's all
situations.
in love. It's all right.
Yeah, yeah, I don't mean any harm by it, but
Yeah.
I'm pretty much open to just about anything, until I can prove it wrong.
Hmm.
Is my look on things. So
Yeah. Again, another time was out orb watching. I didn't believe in ghosts until I saw one.
yeah.
It was an Indian on a horse that manifested in front of me and Janice, another girl that was in my group at the time.
Mhm,
It rode, they rode all the way across the field, got to the tree line, and disappeared. I
mhm.
looked over at Janice and I'm like, "Did you see?" And she said, "What? An Indian on a horse?" Yeah, it was amazing.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. So again, I was like, "Wow, I
yeah,
just saw that.
yeah.
They do exist. They are real."
Oh yeah, yeah. And probably something like that was residual, like
Yeah, I get
on.
it. Yeah,
Um,
it didn't acknowledge us or anything like that. So,
yeah, when I was up in, I live not so far from Gettysburg, so we go up there quite a bit, and that's just a fun playground for me. It was like a light drizzly night, and we're sitting in the car at a stop sign, and then you heard the horse come up, and then you couldn't see above the soldier's waist, but you saw the horse and you saw the legs going
wow.
down.
Yeah.
And the person I was with was like, did I said, yeah, I saw it. Did you saw it? Okay, well, welcome. Now you've had an experience.
Right.
So,
Yeah, that's. I mean, those experiences are amazing.
mhm.
I mean, I get hooked on them. I really do. I mean, the more this stuff happens, I'm like, the more I've got to figure out or learn about them.
Hmm.
Right. So, I have. There was one particular location or two particular locations in Georgia, where we had almost developed a relationship with orbs.
Okay.
Yeah, these things would just come up and they would hang out with us, and again for hours.
Okay.
It's in my first film. I mean, I filmed one, and I filmed this crawler between. I think I filmed the not so smart Bigfoot. My name's Delph. You know,
I never thought about that. I bet there are some dorky ones, aren't there?
this one was dorky, okay,
Oh my god.
but he was slick. It was very slick. I'm telling you, 'cause,
Okay.
we're sitting there filming an orb because my whole first film we wasn't getting anything on night vision, and I
Okay.
started to think, but I couldn't prove it that Bigfoots could see not see infrared, right?
Okay.
So I was like, hey, let's go rent us a real high-end camera and try to look at some of those orbs we always see, right? And we had a really good relationship with them. I mean, it seemed like every time we went out there, boom, here they come. I mean, there was times where they'd be like way on the other side of the forest, and you could see them. They would be bolting toward us, right?
Well,
Um, and sure enough, we get there right on cue. One of these orbs show up, and he's hanging out with us, and there's a storm coming, so we're taking one last little video of it. And we think, wow, we got at least we got the orbs, right? Because we saw them like on the little display on the camera. I'm like,
mhm.
cool, got orbs. A few weeks later, editor calls me, says, hey, we got something, I'm like, yeah, we got an orb. He's like, no, we got something.
Okay.
So we get with him, and there's this thing crawling
Ew.
between us and the orb, and it's like on all fours, and you can see where the head is, and you can see where the shoulder is, and when you put it up on the big screen, you can actually see its arms and legs. It kind of twists and does this weird looking stuff, but it's
Okay.
like, oh crap, I'm on film, I'm on camera, I don't know what to do. Duh. It's like it don't know where to go. It's like going
You
back and
you
forth.
had the
Oh my
Barney
god, oh my
Fife.
god.
You had the
Yeah,
Barney Fife version of a
I,
crawler.
I did. Well, this one was plainly a it's plainly a Bigfoot, because there's this one little segment in it where it actually lifts up his head, and you can actually make out some of the face.
Wow.
And you can see that his nose is kind of splayed out, and his eyes a little bit further apart than ours, and it's a face only a mother could love. But what was interesting about that was when he was like, oh, I don't know what to do, and I want the orb, because the camera's trying to focus in on it, right?
Right.
The
Right.
camera's focusing in on this crawler, And as he's panicking, the orb behind it starts to pulsate and gyrate and get real bright. I mean, got
Wow.
extraordinarily bright. And
Okay.
the camera gives up focus on the crawler and then focuses back in on the orb. And then the crawler gets blurry, you know, it's out of focus, it's blurry, and then crawls off screen. But
Uh,
yeah, I think I got the retarded one. I'm sorry. I don't mean anything bad to the retarded, but I think this
Why
one
did
was
you get kicked
retarded.
off of YouTube? Because of Greg. Because of
No,
Mr.
I mean,
Moist. Mr. Moist.
okay, he's mentally challenged. Let me put it that way. He's
Yes.
mentally challenged.
Yeah.
And you know, I started talking to the guy that put me on that place, and before I even told him that I had that footage, he
Mhm.
said, "Yeah, there's one that you know, he gets caught all the time trying to crawl up on people." And I'm like, "Yeah, I got him.
Sold him. I done did sold him.
I
There
got
was
him."
there's I don't know if you remember the Blue Collar Comedy Tour.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
with
well, one of the guys, and I'm bad, I suck at names. But one of the guys says, I go fishing, I use a corn dog. And he said, just because I want to think of a fish underneath the ocean going, oh, swimming along. And then, oh, where's the corn dog doing down here? You know, I love me some corn dogs. That's the only thing I had going in my head when you're telling me about this special,
Carl.
yeah, this special thing of yours.
Yeah, he's special. His name's Jeff.
Wow, that is something. So I'm going to back up
Yeah.
to Tina, who says the Watchers. Oh no, not that one. I'm sorry, I meant Trisha's. So she's seen 4 total. 3 were gray and black, and the 4th was white, gray, and bald and very skinny. Does that sound
Yeah.
sort of like what you're seeing?
Yeah, they're kind of, so most of them are kind of lanky, like a basketball player sort of.
Okay.
They're
Okay.
real wide though. They're real wide, but
Ooh,
they're kind of lanky. You know, a lot of them is more lanky than what you think they would be.
yeah.
And
I've
I have
heard.
seen, I'm
No, go
sorry.
ahead. Go ahead. No, no,
Yeah,
no, no.
I've just seen, I have seen another one that was a bit bulkier. Um, well, I've seen 2 that was kind of bulky, but the other ones I've saw were lanky, and this crawler would be lanky as well.
Okay. As far as the orbs go, I've heard people talking about theories that orbs travel with Bigfoot, and that's how, and other people will say that's how Bigfoot travels so fast he goes in and out of orbs. Do you put any stock into any of those?
No, absolutely, it is. Actually, over the years, I've come to the conclusion that Bigfoot's not. Um, they have an ability that we don't, in the fact that they're able to transform themselves into like an energy form.
Okay.
And I don't think they're necessarily from here. They may be, but or what you know, I don't know that for sure. But I think they can go in and out of our dimension.
I was just going to
Will.
ask, you think they're
Yeah,
interdimensional? Okay.
yeah. I think they can go in and out of our dimension at will.
Okay.
And to me, that really explains like some of the times I'd be following a trackway, and all of a sudden the trackway stops,
Right.
and there's no real reason for the trackway to stop. There's no difference in soul. There was nothing for it to jump up into a tree because there wasn't any trees. It was in a field.
Hmm.
And there's lots of other people who has said that they cloak. They don't cloak per se. You know, I think they phase in and out of our dimension.
Okay.
And another thing is that during the making of the first Land Between the Lakes, I interviewed these people that had seen a portal, and 2 guys walked into the portal, and then they walked out, but none of the 2 of those 2 guys are no longer with us. They developed like cancer
Oh,
right immediately afterwards. So I kind of think that the only safe way to traverse a portal is in energy form. Otherwise, it's not good for organic. Let me put it that way.
Well, let me, I'm going to do a little PSA. People, if you're out in the woods or a field or wherever, and you see a portal and you can see lush green everything, if there's like Valhalla on the other side, don't go in it. Just don't go in it. That's not meant for you to go in. You can look.
I agree.
Yeah, stop. I had somebody send me a message, an email once, and they said, I found this bag in the forest hanging from a tree, and I took it down, and I looked at it, and I took it all apart, and now I'm having all the. I said, next time you're in, I told her what to do, how to fix it. I said, but next time you see something that is curious to you, keep on going.
Mm.
Keep on going, because I was put there.
You can always like get a stick, and poke it with a stick or something like that. That's probably what I would do.
Don't touch it. You see a bell hanging in the forest. Don't ring it. Don't do that. Don't be stupid about it.
Yeah. And as many people that has seen portals, I've been in contact with somebody else at the LBL who's actually filmed one.
Okay.
So they've got one on thermal, and it may show up in one of my future films coming up.
Okay.
And Natalie saw one. I've seen one. Adam Davis in our group has seen one. He actually saw one where these two entities came out of it, and him and this other guy named John did battle with these two entities for 2 nights in a row. In this portal, right? It came out of this portal. And they said these things were about 3 foot tall, and they had. He thinks it was more technological in nature, because he said there was some kind of field around these little beings that you could see kind of glowing. Like he kind of thought that it was some sort of atmospheric, kind of like a suit,
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so it's like when they would try to walk toward that portal, here these things would charge right at them, and then they would hit it with a flashlight, and everything would vanish, vaporize. 15, 20 minutes later, here it come back again, and they did that for 2 nights in a row. So
I don't think I would have stayed after the first night, and I've seen some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
See, but I'm not. But I'm used to it because I grew up seeing,
Mm-hmm.
everything in the paranormal field except the cryptids. This business is all new to me, and I don't know how I would react. Like when I was under the God helmet and the thing charged me, I'm assuming it's a shadow person, so let me just bat it away. You're not going to hurt me. If I had an inkling that it was that they could do that, I probably would have been scared. But whatever. I wanted to ask you. I've listened to a couple of podcasts where people think that. Oh, hold on! I hit a button.
Uh-oh.
Now I hit a button. You know what? I got cocky. That's why I got cocky. I hit a button. Whatever. They think that the Bigfoots are actually descendant of the Nephilim and the biblical stuff. I don't know. I don't mean any harm to anybody who thinks that. I'm not sure.
Well, as far as like what are the Nephilim? I think it's possible that that modern humans were genetically altered from a hominid from long ago.
Yeah, I can see that.
And it is possible that the Bigfoots are those hominids that were not genetically engineered, the ones that escaped more or less, and just over time they either had these abilities to begin with or developed these abilities to be able to like transform themselves into orbs and whatnot.
Interesting. Okay.
So are they this Nephilim thing? I don't know exactly what Nephilim would be, or
I could be getting this wrong. So if anybody that's listening has a better explanation, please put it in the chat room. When the angels came down to mate with or take on brides, the children became what was called
Yeah.
Nephilim,
Okay.
like the
Uh,
giants.
I guess what they're calling angels, I would call aliens.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I would call. That's what I would call aliens. So in that reference, yeah, they could be that too.
Mhm. Mm. I don't know. I just know if I'm out with you guys again, I'm going to be a little bit more on guard because y'all see some freaky stuff that I've never even seen. I've seen demons and I've seen um, mimics and doppelgangers, and sometimes all in the same place. But
Mhm.
y'all, it's too much sometimes. I One of the young men who was part of, I think he's still part of NCI. His name is it Jerry? It's not Jerry Millwood. It's another one, and he was filming a Bigfoot running after him. I said, "Why were you still filming? He was running after you. Clearly, he didn't want your company, and you're still filming." He says, "Well, I was running away, and he just had the camera like to the back."
Mhm.
I said, "No." But I can't say that y'all are crazy because if I hear a thing that goes bump in the night, I go towards it. If I see
Mhm.
something weird, it doesn't bother me, but I got to go see what it is. So
All right.
on that sort of comparison, I get it. I
Yeah,
don't.
well, I can say there is an element of an adrenaline rush when
Yeah.
you're out Bigfooting.
Yeah. Okay.
There is that, and eventually you get hooked on it.
Okay.
I mean, it's such a dopamine rush that it's unreal. Particularly, okay, like, and that's why this is a secret. I don't drink a lot,
Hmm.
hardly at all, except when I go boogering. Now, when we go out boogering, and even
I
when
love the name. I love the name. I'll
yeah,
go booger.
well, squatching, whatever you want to call it.
No, no.
In the
Go
South,
ahead
they
and
called them
booger
they
away.
called them boogers before Sasquatch was ever a term. They called
Hmm.
them boogers, but it
Okay.
wasn't just Bigfoot. I mean, anything that was kind of odd and any kind of
Was a
cryptid, I
booger.
think they would call a booger, right? A
Okay.
booger, right. So when we go out boogering, especially if we have activity, there you got to have a way to release that adrenaline and everything that's come up on you. So that's why we drink and have a good time. And when we get back in camp, I never drink and go out. That's
Oh, okay.
dangerous.
Hey, no wonder you're seeing
Don't do
boogers.
that. Yeah, yeah.
Tequila in
Don't
one
do
hand,
that.
booger in the other.
Yeah. But you've got to have a release.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but it's a good time when we go. It's a good time, and I have met some of the best people you would ever meet
Oh, yeah.
doing
Most
this.
definitely. Most
Absolutely, and
definitely.
I tend to surround myself with good people, because as you know, I know you can tell if somebody's, I wouldn't say good or bad, but
Oh, no,
they
you can tell if they're an asshole or not.
yeah,
Yeah,
you
we
can
can we can
tell,
go there. We can go
right?
there.
Okay, well, you can tell,
Mhm.
and I tend to leave those behind.
Oh, yeah.
I tend to leave them behind, and
Yeah, it
you know,
takes some of
I,
us a little bit longer to figure out who's an
well,
ass hat and who isn't.
well,
Donna wanted to say, my Shawnee legend says the Moon Eye people had children with Shawnee people and left the Watchers to protect the children of the people. That's interesting. So y'all got to
mhm.
talk. She's got
Yeah,
lots of
yeah,
stories.
Donna. There's actually in Fort Mountain, Georgia. It's Fort Mountain State Park in North Georgia. There's a state monument to the Moon-Eye people.
Okay.
Yeah, there's these ruins that's up on top of that mountain, and the way the legend goes is the Cherokee said when they got there, that
Hmm.
land was inhabited by what they called the Moon-Eye people.
With the big
And
eyes. Okay.
yeah, well, they said they only came out at night,
Oh,
and
oh, okay.
and they were. It says that they're bearded, but that could be. What did an Indian know of beards? 10,000 years ago, they didn't. Because they didn't have beards. They were all
Yeah,
smooth. Yeah. So,
I never
uh,
thought of that. Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So, what did they know of beards? So that was probably the English person who translated this, probably it was probably hairy, right? So these moon-eyed people could have been Bigfoots.
Okay.
Could have been. I'm not
Interesting.
going to say that, you know, authoritatively,
Hmm.
but I'm thinking that's possible. But when I go up there and I start looking at that legend, that thing's probably 10,000 years older. You
Sure.
know,
Sure.
um, because it was developed when the Cherokee got there. So
Wow.
they were in that area for a long time, and there's ruins there.
Okay.
So, and the Cherokee is not known to make ruins like what is there. So,
Okay. Wow. Um, we're coming up to the top of the hour, so I'm going to need you to promote yourself, please.
yes. You can find myself on just Facebook, Greg Ogles. I'm easy to find. And you can find our stuff on YouTube, Relic Films Media. And you can also find us on Facebook, Relic Films Media. And you can find my films on Tubi and Amazon and all them other ones, Legend of the Downey Booger, Cryptic Expeditions, The Land Between the Lakes, and The Vanished. And if anybody's going to be in Townsend, Tennessee for the Smoky Mountain Bigfoot Festival this weekend, on Friday night, they're having a special showing of The Vanished. So come out and
Okay.
watch.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome. I'm going to put you in the green room to get all these little buttons situated. And I will be back in a moment to say goodbye. Or if you need to get on with your night, just get on with your night. So let's see. There you go. Goodbye, Greg. Thank you so much for tuning in, as always. If you've been reading the scroll, contact me if you have a problem, a situation, or you're just not comfortable discussing your paranormal experience. I'm never going to make fun of you, even though, I said I had a little snarky side to me. I will never make you feel bad about whatever it is that you've experienced, and I'll explain it to you to the best of my ability. And if I can't handle it, I'll find somebody who can. So, with that aside, tonight I'm going to do two things, but they're all going to both have the same sort of a theme. From my book, Witchcraft by Blood and Tradition, A Beginner's Guide, available on Amazon, Kindle, paperback, and hardback. Wink, wink. There are, I wanted to let everybody know that there are different parts to it. It's not just here's a spell, here's a spell, here's a spell. I explain different types of magic in there. It's one small portion. So, for instance, tonight I wanted to do everyday things that we do that we don't realize have pagan roots. So, from my book, we talk about sound magic. And a lot of people think, well, there's no such thing. Walk into a room, blow a whistle. Walk into a room, clap your hands real loud. Disrupt the energy that's going on. That's actually pagan in nature, and it is called sound magic. And it's very helpful to parents and teachers when things aren't going quite the way they want them to go. We also have some other symbols that we use every day that y'all probably don't realize has pagan roots. And for example, and I'm not going to go through the whole week, days of the week are actually made up to honor a deity. So Thursday was to honor the deity Thor. Friday honors Freya. Some people say Frigga. I like Freya. Saturday honored Saturn, the Roman god of agriculture and time. So there we use those days all the time, every day in our life, and don't think anything of it. And the last thing before I let you go, wedding rings was actually invented, or they came up with, or however you want to do, from the ancient Egyptians. And it was to symbolize never an ending and never a beginning, eternity and life, and that you're connected to one another. And then, of course, nowadays we have our rings for a different reason, but that's where it started. And the reason we have it on the ring finger is because the Romans later adapted using the ring on the ring finger because they felt that a vein went directly from the ring finger to the heart. So as long as you had your wedding ring on, you'd have a good marriage. With that being said, don't forget to give me a line at paranormalwhitewitch@gmail.com. And I will see you next Wednesday. And I think I did pretty dang good with the whole button thing. So let's see if I can do the ending. All right. Take care, y'all. See you next week.
There are signals all around us. Most of them go unnoticed. Some are born able to sense them, born with the veil still present, a mark set to thin the boundary between worlds. For a white witch, the boundary never fully closes. It becomes something you can see through, something you can feel. Respond not to fear the unknown, but to understand it, to listen when it reaches back beyond the veil with Tracy Jones.